God, Saliya, it's been so long. What's happened?
It's my fault. It's
Hmm.
my fault. I'm so sorry, guys. It's been 3 months that we haven't recorded anything, and it's my
One of
fault.
us, one of us was gallivanting around the world, going to Canada, playing with dogs, going to national parks, balling out with
Playing with dogs.
ballers. I wish some of us were like that, but I guess that's you rather than me. But that's all right.
You were
I can't
you were
complain.
also traveling a lot, so our timing was kind of
What are
bad.
you? Yeah, yeah, sure. What are
But
you talking about? I've
most
been
of
in
it,
this scene,
most of
bro.
it was my fault.
Yeah, you can't.
Most of it was my fault.
It's okay. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you,
But we're back on track. We promise you guys every week we're gonna upload a video.
It was almost as painful as having to, watch a 2 hour movie, 2 hour, 30-minute movie about emotional turmoil. This is how much you pained me. You pained me. But it's all right. So I guess jumping into things. We're taking this week's episode about Steve McQueen's 2013 12 Years a Slave with Chiwetel Ejiofor, Michael Fassbender, Lupita Nyong'o, Brad Pitt, Brad Brent Benedict Bunch of Cumberbatch. Sorry, my apologies. And Paul Giamatti, and there's a lot of big names in this movie. And this movie is essentially kind of supposed to depict a very hardship time in the slavery age, where Solomon Northman, who's played by Chiwetel, and he essentially was a free man in back in 1960s, I believe, and no, 1950s, and then he essentially got captured and got into slavery, and then it's essentially just depicting a real life biographical drama about what that character had to go through. So uh I really, as a person of color myself, when I watch this movie, it really jarred with me just because it means there was a lot of hardship in our history, and then seeing that the turmoil and the hardship that other people forced on other people, it's a lot of very much touches on inhumane activities kind of thing, and there's definitely like a lot of brutality that this movie kind of depicts. So, yeah, for what did you think about this?
For me, it was a very, very, very hard movie to watch. Like there was scenes that I couldn't even watch. For me, it was like I kind of like hated myself, like as a human being. Like I could even like imagine like what was really happening in the past to Black people, how cruel you could be to like react, like acting that way. So for me, I never felt that bad by watching a movie. Like it was very hard for me. So like I couldn't really deal with it because it was very depressing.
Mm,
And till now, I never understood why white people were treating Black people that way. Yeah, it was very sad. It was hard to watch, I couldn't like it was bad.
mm.
But for
And
me,
like
the
on.
movie it was a little bit long. It was a little bit too slow. I understand that they wanted to show everything and every circumstances and the environment and the pain, but it was too slow.
Mm. Well, I think because it is emotionally jarring, and for those that are quite sensitive to the pains of others, any sort of movie that elongates that feeling for a long period of time, it's definitely going to be feel even longer. Like 5 minutes will feel like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, So if you're a very emotional, sensitive person, this movie will feel very long. And I think even what we were even saying before in other movies, like Avatar, movies are now standardly getting longer and longer, right? So This movie was 2 hours and 13 minutes, if memory serves me correct. I think movies at one point used to be 90 minutes long, and no more than 90 minutes, days of like Die Hard and things like that. But now we're looking closer to an hour 10, 2 hours mark. And, I think I think in 2013 when this movie started coming out, yes, I think it was even considered a long movie back then. But now it'd just be considered another movie. But yeah, I think you've spoken some key points there, which is it is very hard to see a lot of anguish and touch about how humans treat other humans. I also realized I misspoke earlier. It wasn't 1950, it was 1850. That's when this movie was supposed to be depicted. But yeah, I think movies like this, movies like Crash, that also came out in 2005, which had Matt Dillon, Tawny Needle, Michael Pena, also another hard, jarring, controversial movie. I remember when I watched it, I had a little bit of distrust with Caucasians, white people. And this movie, I think a lot of, if you really want to make the white man feel bad, this is actually one of the movies. But hopefully we're progressing, in terms of society that won't let us step into that realm of hardship again, or at least owning people as property. But yeah, I think Michael Fassbender, a very good depiction of like a slave owner and breaking slaves and making sure that they feel uneasy about being around him. Like, I think the closest thing we've seen to him being a bad guy, was Magneto in Days of Future Past, or even the other X-Men's. But at least in those movies, we felt a little compassion for him because he came from a place of hardship. But this one, absolutely, there was no reason for him to ever put down people as much as he did, and even his wife. I think played Mrs. Epps. You said that you heard that it was not easy for her to even like get into that
Yeah,
role.
she said it was like cruelty was affecting her like mentally, and she couldn't even really play the role. So it was very hard for her. So she said the only thing that she could really put herself in the character was to find the reason why she was doing that, and like understand the circumstances. But like, and Steve McQueen said, like, you're actors, so they have to play the role. If they can't play the role, I'm gonna cast someone else. But for Sarah, she said like it was like it was very hard because she couldn't understand what she was doing, because you can't, in acting you can't really play the mode, because if you really play the mode, it's a kind of fake. So you have to really you have to act, and the emotion needs to come with the action. You can't just play the emotion without acting. So that's why it was very hard for Sarah Paulson, if she really wanted to be a good actress, because she could really feel everything was happening, maybe with kind of like acting techniques, or bring something to her life to make the character alive, to feel the pain, and then you can see the emotion and the mood. Because like in acting technique, you can just say, okay, so I'm going to be sad. You have to really feel or think about something, act on something to bring the emotion in the character. It can be like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but it can be vice versa. So that's why it was hard for her.
Yeah, I think this was one of her more jarring. She's taken on more roles since then that really kind of pushes her a little bit more. So like I think Sarah Paulson, she also was in Glass with 2019, where she also had to depict someone that was, someone that people have to hate kind of thing. And in this movie, yeah, she had to channel in and hate that clearly she naturally does not have. But I guess racism isn't innate in some, but But we hope that this also creates an opportunity for those to learn. This is what racism can look like and has looked like. And I think it creates hopefully a feeling of sympathy, and we learn from it and grow from it. But yeah, so ultimately, I think the movie had great cinematography. It had very very long elements in the scenes where they really drew in the audience. And then I guess in terms of awards, they did okay. So I guess they won Best Motion Picture for drama in 2014, so which is really cool. And it won Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actress. So it did pretty all right, Oscar wise. And then what would you rate this out of 10?
I have to add something before rating. Steve McQueen, when they were like having an interview with him, he said the movie for him, it wasn't about slavery. He never like thought about like making a movie about slavery. He just wanted to like see images from the past. And then like his wife, as far as I remember, she brings a book to him and she says, okay, so look at this book. And then he got inspired by making this movie, but he wasn't really thinking about making a movie about slavery. It was most about like something historical about past and what was happening in the past. So I really like the movie. The only problem is that it was like too long for me, a little bit slow. So for that reason, I would say maybe 6 out of 10.
I think when I also watched it's not my kind of movie. Like I like it did have a happy-ish ending, but yeah, it was definitely a little too emotional for me. And historical biopics don't really jump out for me. But however, I'm gonna give it also a 6 out of 10. It's a must watch, but it's not for the faint of heart, and I have a big softy heart, clearly. But yeah, so IMDb as of right now, as of today, it's 8.1 out of 10, and then Rotten Tomato gave it a 95. So very high rating by most. So yeah, definitely for those that are watching, give it a watch. Let us know what you think. What were the high moments? What were the low moments? And of course, like, subscribe, and share. That will really help out our channel out.
And follow us on Instagram.
And follow us on Instagram. Welcome to our Instagram channel. We're just about to start that with this movie, I believe. So yeah, watch out and let us know. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Ciao.
Bye. Peace.